Oh, Lord, I'm gonna need these episodes to stop opening with Gabrisi and her non-driving daughter in these Isettas. Now, the little girl will get good at it one day, but come on, stop embarrassing the heifer. But then again, Giselle doesn't have any plot line, and you know that girl don't want to hang out with you. So she can only hang out with Rob, Dixon, and her daughters. Because it's Jamal coming? Of course not. Oh, and this heifer is still working on her barn, which has now reached Chateau Charest status. Just contractors playing in wood. They ain't getting nothing done. And you know, Gabrice and Charest have a lot in common. These unfinished edifices that are monuments to their own mediocrity. Children that don't like them, and lack of men. Then again, I don't think Charest wanted a man in a minute. How you gonna have a housewarming in an unfinished house? You gonna have a housewarming in a tent outside. A tent. You couldn't just wait because you know you gonna be waiting until you off the show to finish this joker. That's a trifling heifer throwing a housewarming in a tent. I mean, at least the unfinished barn is a structure. You're in a tent, partying like hobos. I thought this was a housewarming, not a camping trip. Gabrisi wants to make it about Karen and Wendy being mean to her and reading her house. So rather than rise to the moment and impress them with your edifice, you just gonna put them in a tent outside. A tent heifer and an eye setter. Sad to see. You want to say they can't use your bathroom. Does your bathroom even work? Is the hot water even in? That's probably why your kids don't like you. They cold. However, Rob Dixon is keeping Gabrice from being the truly petty monster she is. She's like, no, they got to be able to piss. Pissing is key. And then this is you starting with them when it's supposed to be an olive branch moment. We're seeing your true colors shining through, and they're gray and unpainted walls. They're raw drywall. That's what your colors are. A gritty cement. And unpainted white. Now you want to age shame Karen saying, oh, well, she would need depends, so I guess I should let her in. You are 5 years younger than her. You 2 aisles over from the diaper section yourself. And we ain't even going to talk about them cankles. Karen got her little 3-wick candles with her coot. Karen, why you got people pretending they calling your coot and texting him good morning handsome? The only one who gonna send him a message like that is his daughter. Your coot's safe. But now we're over with childish Candace and her mama, Eveline. She's trying to hold her mama accountable for her dated backsplash and her cruel comments on Chris. Oh, Mia and her mama, it's just not interesting. It's too sad. We are here for the mess, not the mamas. Or fun messy mamas, not this kind of messy mama. Karen at Wendy's talking about these candles. And I guess we're going to get some grand dame guidance. Okay, Wendy, I like this give back to teachers moment. That's much more on brand for you. It really seems like Karen, Alaska, and Wendy are on one team. You've got Gabrisi, and Rob Dixon on the other. And I feel like Ashley is a wild card just willing to start mess wherever she could find it. And I wish that she could find it at Gabrisi's house because we saw it and it's a mess. A construction zone mess. A Bryantless mess. Alaska is coming on this show and pulling no punches. She said, you should never be comfortable to ask my mom about my man. But that's because Mia's messy. Karen said Giselle is hoping for hating, and she's absolutely right. She wants you to do her job for her. She wants you to just bring her the plot line rather than have to do something with herself. Where is Every Hue? Is it coming? Of course not. I don't know what was worse, Every Hue or Kids Force. Well, Kids Force was just pure stupidity. Every Hue was Giselle missing out on the one thing she has going for her. Looks. Or, well, she had looks. I don't know where she put them. They must have left with the pandemic. So Wendy gonna invite all the girls to the Eastern Shore. But I wouldn't want to go on a trip with them heifers. I go on vacation to relax, not to argue. Now this is how you shade. Karen asked, are the husbands coming? And of course, Wendy's happy to bring them along because you know that Gabrisi, and Rob will be there manless. Like they're everywhere manless. Every time they show Giselle's house, it's just getting uglier and uglier. Like, how is there more to it and it looks less done? Robin, I didn't think I could see anything uglier than Giselle's love life. But then you showed up in this snakeskin blazer. And the worst part about the outfit, right when I thought the jacket was the ugliest thing, then I see the culottes. Those culottes that do nothing for the leg. Mannish as you want to be. So everybody gets to Gabrissi's house for the launch of Reasonably Shady, and I heard it and it's reasonably shitty. But they all are pretending like Giselle's house is someplace you would want to live. It's like, child, tell her to condemn that crap and move on. That's what a real friend would say. Karen cracked me up when she said, "Is that a 10 in the back? Are we COVID testing?" That's what it looks like. Get your nose swabbed, because it sure don't look like a house. So Giselle is greeted by everyone very warmly. Karen brings her a whole gift package, and she's gonna bring up how she wouldn't let her piss. You see, you always just want to start shit. You ain't got nothing better to do. It's that empty heart and that empty bed. Wendy said, "Look, I ain't never said nothing about your unfinished barn, but I have talked about your fucked up fashions." So Karen tells Mia, "Look, you're going to have some crap to deal with when Candace is here, because her mama done blabbed about how you was asking if her man's making any money." And she going to say, "I was talking to Dorothy. I wasn't talking to Candace. If you talking to my mama, you talking to me. Especially when you talking to my mama about my man." So we gonna play a little game. Is it reasonable or is it shady? The first question is, do you hold a grudge after an apology's been given? Karen says, well, if it's reasonable and you keep doing shit when you can't even get through one apology before you messed up again, and that's Gabrice and Gabrissy. Then Giselle gonna say, well, Wendy, you told Candace that Mia was talking about her. Well, she was. And no, I don't think she was trying to throw her off. I think she was just trying to let her know before she got blindsided. So Mia is on her Nene Leakes. She said what she said, and she ain't changing it. So now Candace gets there and Giselle asks, "Candace, did you think it was shady or whack that your mama's mouth was on your man during the video shoot?" And Candace said no, she was just being a friend. But Giselle, why are you trying to start with Wendy? Why are you making Wendy look like the bad guy when all she did was tell the truth? And again, Candace knows her mama. Her mama been doing this, so Wendy cluing her in is just de rigueur. But you see Giselle always talking about somebody else, always in somebody else's plot line. That's her overbearing mama. And isn't the mama asking if Chris is getting paid the bigger issue? We need to bring this to the mama, not to Mia, not to Wendy. Mia said there was no one to greet me there. There was no management when I got to this video shoot. Candace said, well, you could have stayed home. Mia gonna say, I just didn't want to show up to something low rent. When Candace said, your mama low rent, I was like, oh, she's going for the jug. Now Ashley gotta put her forehead in it. Now, you know you and Candace don't get along. But for you to say, oh, you've talked to the group about your overbearing mother and Chris's money issues. So why can't people bring it up? Once they moved out the mama's house, you no longer get to lord over the fact that it was their mama's house. I don't know why you care about who pays whose bills. Candace went off. She said, well, for future reference, just don't come. I don't need you talking to my mama about my money. And Rob's gonna say, well, I was on Juan's payroll, and you fucked that payroll up, didn't you? Didn't you? Karen said, well, I like Juan better than I like you, Rob. And I'm sure Juan likes you better than he likes Rob. So Rob gonna ask the last question. Is it okay to ask about your friend's appearance changing when cheating rumors have emerged? Why you gonna bring up Wendy's shit? She told you don't talk about my man. She gonna give you them hands. Now, Rob, how is Wendy being an asshole? Because she thinks your questions are shady. Y'all are hyping it up, and she is very calm right now. She is giving you low, dulcet tones. Ain't nobody yelling. You the one yelling. You're the one mad at your own actions. And you were talking about her on her birthday. Candace is telling it. She said, we went on for a good 45 minutes about her breast, about her man, about her merge. Wendy said all you heifers could have picked up the phone if you were so concerned. So I ain't got time for the theatrics today. Wendy says, and Giselle, I done said everything I need to say to your ass about whether the question is shady or not. And Giselle gonna say, well, you can go. We can just back these cars up out of here and you can go. That's Kenya, always throwing somebody out. And manless too. Karen said, we are in a driveway. We are not in your house. This is public property. How you gonna ask somebody to leave a house that they ain't in? Then a scholar says, well, look, Gabrissy, you can't be mad when you ask her a disrespectful question and she comes back at you with disrespect. And she'd already gotten you together. And Mia gonna say, are you the mediator? Well, you sure ain't. And Alaska told her, you better keep it cute over there, heifer. I'm speaking to one of Gabrissy's faces. I wasn't talking to you and your new twat. So Karen says, Wendy, I think we need to invite everybody to the couples trip. And Wendy's like, well, we got two people here that can't couple up. Wendy said, yep, you always want to talk about somebody but ain't got nobody. So come on, heifer. Where's all that mouth now, Gabrice? Where's all your comebacks, Gabrissy? You ain't got shit to say. Or a man to say it to. Oh, now Rob is upset that when she mentioned Robin, she didn't mention Juan because we never see him. We know he don't film. So why would she say, oh, you're going to bring Juan when you know Juan ain't going? So why even extend an invitation that will be turned down? Child, Gabrice trying to lead these people into this death trap of a house to see her crappy closet. I mean, you could go to Dress Barn anytime. A scholar just said, you know what, I'm not even trying to trek up this broken path. I'm going to see y'all later. So Candace's car is blocking everybody in, and Wendy says, I can't be here no more, or I'm going to end up miserable like Gabrice and Gabrissy. You're right. The second they got there, the energy was so off. But Gabrice, you had your chip on your shoulder before you even said anything to Wendy. Well, that was the shit. And I will see you soon for Housewives of Beverly Hills.